I'm going to show you how to cook the most amazing piece of salmon. I used to make a lot of salmon on the Foreman. I used to grill on the grill, and every time I did it was really dry and just was not that good. So I've perfected this. It's down to a science, and it's just like when you get it at a restaurant, and it's very moist. Tastes awesome, so I've perfected it. I think it's better than the restaurants. It has great flavor and is just, oh, just good. So I usually try a bigger piece of salmon. This is kind of a small one, or not try, I usually cook a bigger piece of salmon. This one's kind of small, but I'll just show you with that because that's what I have. And I always try to catch, or buy, I wish I could catch, buy the fresh, the stuff that's not farm raised. So first things first, I'm going to try to cruise through this to save you time. We are going to set the oven to 450 on bake. Crank that baby up. Oops. Start that. Once that preheats, we'll put this in there. We're going to hurry and prepare it. So the trick, first of all, get yourself a piece of something, whether it's this stone or a pan or a, doesn't really matter, whatever's oven safe. Cut a piece of tinfoil, lay it out like that. I put the shiny side up. Does it matter? No, but I do the shiny side up. And then what you're gonna need is that. Let me get this in focus for you. That is olive oil, salt, pepper, and then that right there is a magical sauce seasoning, which I'm gonna do another video on how to make that. So anyways, I can't really tell you what it is right now, but you can put pretty much anything you want on it. Doesn't really matter. The key is cooking this thing to be moist and perfect consistency, and the most critical thing is this actually has the skin on it. So when we cook this thing, there's no tearing the skin off and ripping your salmon apart. It literally, kind of sounds gross, but the skin is tattooed to the tinfoil, and when you peel this salmon off, it's just, yeah, you'll see, it's awesome. So okay, once the oven preheats, we'll get this thing going, and I'll be right back to show you how to prepare it. And alright, so the oven's still preheating. I'm gonna get this going so I can show you what to do. So it's ready when the oven's ready. First of all, you're gonna fold these over 2 or 3 times to make a nice edge, make it nice and strong. And then you can take the next one, fold it over. We're just building a little reservoir so nothing falls out. And build this side up like so. Do it 3 or 4 times. And do this side 3 or 4 times. That's probably good right there. Okay, and then bend all those sides up, the corners up. We just don't want the oil to fall out, so just kind of bend them up and mash those corners together to make sure that they're sealed. We're not going too crazy with the oil, but we just don't want it to leak out. So I just kind of mash those together. Just make sure there's a nice little place for the salmon to go. Take your salmon, just lay it in there with the skin down. Take your olive oil, no vegetable oil, olive oil. That's gonna have a lot to do with the taste. And just pour a little bit over the top like so, and you want it to drip off so it causes a little bit of a reservoir underneath. And then what you want to do is make sure the whole entire salmon on top, on the sides, is covered in this stuff. And then once it's covered, I'm even crazy, I do the ends. Okay, once it's covered, I kind of fold this up so it makes, kind of lift up so it makes that olive oil stay surrounding that salmon, because that is what is going to literally cook the salmon to perfection. So the olive oil can't go out, it's all kind of by default it has to stay. I'm gonna put just a little more. You don't really need this much, but I just want you to be able to see that it's around the salmon. So, and then what I do is you can just use salt and pepper, but if you have a magical seasoning, I'm about out. Oh, that's enough. And then if you have a magical seasoning, you can use whatever. A lot of people like the lemon stuff. I don't, but people do. And then I use this. This is my magical sauce, magical spice. Can't tell you about it yet. I'll do a video on it. It's the most amazing stuff. It's good for burgers, good for salmon, good for anything. You can put it on your cereal and it tastes good. Okay, there we have it. So that is ready. Let me see if you can see that okay. So let's see, I'll zoom in for you. So we got, you can see the olive oil surrounding the whole salmon. And what happens is when it's cooking, it just boils underneath that, and it literally boils the skin right off of the salmon. And it's yeah, I've tried other ways to get the skin off, and I've had ways work where it kind of comes off, kind of catches, kind of tears your salmon apart, kind of makes your salmon dry. So the olive oil keeps it moist. It keeps it, it gets it hot enough that it just, I don't know how it works, but it just cooks that skin right off, and it's perfect. And so I'll be right back with you once the oven's heated up. And actually, no, I won't. I'm going to put it in the oven. We bake it for 20 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes. This little piece I'll probably do for 17, 18 minutes. A regular thicker piece of salmon I'll do for 20 minutes. And then I will come back and when we pull it out of the oven. Alright, so I'm going to take this salmon out of the oven and show you the next quick little step. It's going to be really hot. That oil is literally boiling. So what I do now, tinfoil won't burn you, but I try to cover it for just a few minutes. I usually cover it for 5 minutes, 6, 7, 8 minutes, but you don't have to cover it at all if you don't want. It'll still peel off the skin and everything, but I cover it just to keep the heat in for a little bit, kind of like you do with the steak, just to let it cool down and do its thing. So we'll let it do that for a minute, and I'll be right back. We're going to open this up, check it out, and I let it sit for about 5 or 7 minutes or so. And this piece is really, really thin. It's a small piece, so we'll see. Oh, whoops. You know, like I said, it's really thin. But you can see right there how it just, the skin sticks to the tinfoil. So let me see if I can. Normally I do bigger pieces and it doesn't do that, but you can just scoop it right off. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so this one, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, that's hot. It usually peels right off, just like it did up here. The whole thing does, but that end on that salmon is really, really thin, and so it doesn't have any choice but to kind of stick. So trust me, trust me. A little bit bigger piece, but still, that's a good solid piece of salmon that is just as moist and tender as you'll find in the restaurants. I'll kind of break it open here. You can see how it's nice and shiny and oily. The oil just keeps it good and moist. So anyways, we'll try it out. Get a little bit bigger piece. On these smaller ones, I haven't cooked many small ones. I would say cook them for 14 minutes, 15 minutes. The bigger ones, I would cook 20 minutes, 18, 20 minutes. So there you have it. Thanks for watching.